Let's be real for a second. You've been on the range or out in the field. You've got your stance locked in, your mount is clean, you've practiced for hours, maybe even weeks. But for some reason, the shot just doesn't land. You replay it in your mind over and over. You ask yourself, did I pull too early? Did I swing too fast? Was my lead off? But sometimes, the truth is much deeper than any physical adjustment. Sometimes it's not about technique at all, not about foot placement, not about speed, and not even about timing. The truth is, the biggest reason you're missing is mental. Whether you're clay shooting or bird hunting, whether you're a seasoned veteran or just getting into the sport, the mental game is what separates the average from the elite. And yet, it's often the part we train the least. Let's dig into why your brain might just be the most powerful and overlooked part of your shooting game. Shooting is more mental than you think. We often treat shooting like it's purely mechanical, something physical, a skill built on repetition, muscle memory, and gear. And yes, of course, technique matters, practice matters. But when everything on the outside seems right, when your form is solid, your gun fits, and your eyes are tracking perfectly, and you still miss, that's when you realize it's happening in your head. Shooting is about rhythm, it's about instinct, it's about making split-second decisions under pressure. Your brain is doing the heavy lifting in the background. It's calculating lead, it's tracking trajectory, it's deciding when to move and when to fire, all while trying to stay calm and fluid. That internal balancing act happens in just a few seconds. And if your brain stutters for even a moment, the shot's gone. That's why shooters who train only the physical side eventually hit a plateau. Because there's a whole other layer of performance most people ignore, the mental one. And mastering that is the key to real progress. Pressure, the invisible enemy. There's something that happens when the shot matters more than usual. Maybe you're on a hot streak and you don't want to break it. Maybe you're in a tournament or a high-stakes hunting trip. Maybe someone is watching. Your buddy, your coach, maybe even your kid. And then it hits. Your brain starts whispering. Don't screw this up. You've got to hit this one. That whisper quickly turns into a roar. Your shoulders get tighter. Your breathing shortens. Your hands start gripping harder than they should. Your timing gets off, not by much, but enough to miss. It's wild how fast pressure sneaks in. You want the shot so badly that you start to force it. And the moment you try to control the outcome too tightly, that's when the smoothness disappears. That's when instinct takes a backseat to overthinking. It's a paradox. The more important the shot becomes to you emotionally, the more likely you are to miss it, unless you know how to deal with that pressure. The quiet eye, the secret of elite shooters. So, how do top shooters stay consistent under pressure? They focus, but not just in a general, casual way. They use something called the quiet eye. It's that small but powerful moment just before you move, right before the swing, right before the mount, right before the pull. You pick a single point, a very specific part of the target, not the whole clay, not just somewhere near the duck, but the front edge, the leading wing, a tiny spot that your eyes can lock onto. And then you hold it, just long enough for your brain to process it fully. What happens in that moment is subtle, but it's game-changing. Your mind stops racing, your thoughts quiet down, your body doesn't jerk into motion, it flows. That fixed gaze, that mental stillness creates a foundation for the rest of the shot. You're not reacting from panic, you're initiating from calm. The movement that follows is smoother, more precise, more confident. It's like flipping a switch in your nervous system that says, okay, we're ready now. Training the mind like a muscle. Nobody tells you this early on. But your mental state is trainable, just like you train your mount, just like you train your lead. Your focus, your confidence, your emotional control, they're not just things you hope go well, you can actually train them. Think about it. If you don't train how to focus when you're under pressure, then how can you expect to perform when it counts? The best shooters don't just put in reps on the range. They build routines for the brain. They practice breathing under stress. They learn how to bounce back after a miss without spiraling. They rehearse how they want to feel before a shot. They don't leave it to chance. Because they know when things get intense, the body follows the mind. Visualization, shooting without firing. Here's a secret weapon that almost every elite performer across all sports uses: visualization. They rehearse the shot mentally, not with their hands, not with a shotgun, just with their imagination. Eyes closed, standing still. They picture the target launching. They picture their mount coming up smoothly. They imagine the swing, the lead, the moment of the shot, and in their mind, it breaks perfectly. What this does is strengthen the connection between vision and motion. It sharpens the brain's pathways, because your mind doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined action and a real one. And when you do that often enough, your confidence grows. You've already seen the shot happen correctly 100 times in your head. And the best part? You can do this anywhere. In the car, in bed, on the walk to the range. Every mental rep makes you sharper, makes your brain more prepared, and that preparation shows up when it's real. Breathing, the reset button you're not using. There's a reason elite snipers, Olympic archers, and even surgeons obsess over breathing. It's because it controls everything. When you breathe deep and slow, your brain receives the message: we're in control. We're not panicking, we're focused. Your heart rate steadies, your muscles relax, your vision sharpens. You become more deliberate and less reactive. On the other hand, when you're tense, your breath becomes shallow and fast. You might not even notice it, but your brain does. It thinks something's wrong. It starts to flood your body with adrenaline. Your timing becomes jittery. Your trigger control slips. Your body goes into fight or flight. So when you step into the box or line up that shot in the field, pause for a second. Take one deep inhale, exhale slowly, and feel everything settle. It's not just a breathing trick, it's a total system reset, creating a mental routine that works. Every great shooter has a routine. It's not random, it's not guesswork, it's a set sequence they follow before every shot, no matter what. It starts with calming the body, then sharpening the focus, locking onto the target, visualizing the perfect outcome, and giving themselves one final cue. A phrase, a feeling, a mental switch that says, go time. That cue might be something as simple as smooth and steady, or lead and trust. It doesn't matter what the words are. What matters is that it anchors your attention. It centers you. It keeps your brain from drifting into overanalysis or fear. And the beautiful part is, this routine is yours. You can develop it, refine it, adjust it. But once you find something that works, you stick to it, especially when things go wrong, because after a miss, your brain wants to spiral, to panic. But when you fall back into your routine, you tell yourself, nothing's broken, stick to the process. That's how you stay consistent, through repetition, not reaction. The danger of overthinking. If you've ever felt like you were watching yourself shoot in slow motion, like you were inside your own head commenting on every move, then you've experienced it: paralysis by analysis. Overthinking kills flow. The moment you start dissecting your own mechanics mid-swing, you're no longer shooting instinctively. You're trying to control something that should feel natural. This is why your practice matters so much. It creates the foundation of your instincts, so that when the pressure hits, you don't have to think your way through it. You can trust your way through it. Your conscious brain should do the prep work before the shot, but once you call for the target, that's it. You let go. You act. Trust your subconscious. Let go to shoot better. This might sound crazy, but some of your best shots will come when you stop trying so hard. Your subconscious brain knows how to shoot. It's picked up on all your practice, your reps, your training. It doesn't second guess, it doesn't stress, it just executes. But the moment your conscious brain tries to micromanage, tries to force perfection, you interrupt the flow. You start aiming instead of swinging. You start calculating instead of reacting. You've probably heard shooters say, "Don't aim, just shoot." And they're right. That doesn't mean be careless, it means be instinctive. When you trust your training and shoot from a place of feel, not fear, that's when everything clicks. The mental game never ends. The truth is, the mental side of shooting is never done. You don't master it once and coast forever. Life affects your head. A bad night's sleep, a stressful week, too much caffeine, too many expectations, it all shows up in your performance. And if you don't have the mental tools to reset, adjust, and stay calm, it starts chipping away at your consistency. That's why mental training isn't optional. It's essential. If you want to perform your best under pressure, you need to treat your brain like your most valuable piece of gear. It's not your shotgun. It's not your choke. It's not your shell. It's the space between your ears. Final thoughts. Train your brain like you train your shot. Here's the big takeaway. The real edge isn't just in your form. It's in your focus. It's in how you breathe, how you reset, how you react when it matters most. When you train your mind with the same dedication you train your swing, everything else starts to fall into place. Because in the end, you don't just shoot with your hands, you shoot with your head.